Joe Scarborough has been on this crusade to defend the Koch brothers because Harry Reid rightfully called them un-American for buying our political system, for example, and running ads about Obamacare that are just flat-out 100% lies. So listen to this fool absolutely flop when he interviews Chuck Schumer.
You know, when David Koch does ads that say cut government and you cut NIH, far more about cancer research is hurt than the good he does, which he should get credit for giving to charity. Private charity cannot deal with the major problems we face as good and noble a thing as it is.
Senator, can't we have a disagreement about how charity is funded without calling somebody un-American? Because I don't believe money should be funneled through inefficient bureaucracies, and I'm not talking about NIH here.
Well, that's what we're talking about.
But can't we have, though, a disagreement on how best to fund private charities without calling somebody un-American?
Well, let me say this. NIH is not inefficient. No one has felt it's inefficient.
I'm talking about the word un-American, Senator.
No.
Do you think David Koch is un-American?
David Koch's commercials, which are huge amounts of money, I think they should not be allowed.
Do you think David Koch is un-American?
Look, the bottom line is very simple. When you do, the commercials he runs are not part of the American mainstream, are not happen. No two people should have such a huge influence on our politics.
Like the guy who's spending $100 million out of San Francisco. Should Harry Reid call or MoveOn.org? Should you call them un-American? I'm asking a simple question here, and I've got great respect for you. Do you think that David Koch is un-American, or should Harry Reid apologize?
I think the commercials he are running are against the American grain and un-American.
Okay,
yes,
what about David
himself? I think what Harry Reid was saying was the actions are un-American, and they should change.
So you think David Koch's actions are un-American? Do you think David Koch
running
is
those
un-American?
ads? Absolutely.
I love how Scarborough keeps asking the question, and he acts like Schumer is evading the question, but every single time Schumer was answering the question. He's like, well, yeah, let me explain why I think that's right, that they are un-American, and that the ads they're running are un-American. Let me break it down for you. And he's like, yeah, well, why are you trying to evade the question, big guy? Let me run this by you one more time here, okay? My question is, are they un-American, yes or no? He's like, yeah. He's like, oh, really? Then how about the Democratic donors, big money donors? Are they un-American too? And he's like, yeah, same, yes. He's like, oh, but I'm asking you a direct question here. Is he un-American? For fuck's sake, yes, he's un-American. What do you want me to say it in a different language? I don't know what kind of accent that was. That was like a mix of Chinese and German, because I'm screaming it, but I'm trying to make it sound Asian. Anyway, putting that aside, please don't write me letters. I love the German community and the Chinese community. I love you both. Please breathe. But we actually talked about the Koch brothers the other week, and keep in mind, I don't even like Chuck Schumer. He's a corporatist Democrat, and he's an establishment Democrat to his core, but he did handle that well. And, I mean, the idea of defending the Koch brothers has to be just 100% based on not knowing what they do and who they are. In fact, let me run the clip from the last time we spoke about them to give you a better idea of exactly who they are and what they do. Their daddy did business with the Nazis and with Stalin. Okay, we're not off to a great start here. But you might say, okay, they're not necessarily their dad, so why does that matter? Well, most of the money that they have, they inherited from their dad. So they are currently swimming in Nazi and communist blood-stained money. Now, their father was a pioneer in oil refining, and they, of course, inherited all their wealth like useless clowns. But just how much money do they make? Well, let me give you a few details here that are quite mind-blowing. In 2012 alone, Charles and David Koch each increased their personal wealth by $9 billion. That brought their total to each of them having $34 billion. Now, while they're making this amount of ungodly wealth, they are bankrolling a movement to fight a minimum wage increase, even a small one, even the fight to raise it to $9 an hour, which is still well below a living wage. They fought that movement as they are making this amount of money. Does that sound patriotic to you? I don't think so. Not only that, they bankroll groups across the nation that fight to lower their taxes, subsidize them more, and deregulate so it allows them to pollute more. In fact, one of the companies that they own, they produce a chemical that is a well-known carcinogen. You might have heard of it. It's called formaldehyde. They actually produce formaldehyde, one of their companies does, and they're able to get away with it because they lobbied the EPA, and so basically the EPA is looking in the other direction as they produce it. But if that's not enough to show you their true character, how about the fact that they recently bankrolled a movement that tried to take away your 17th Amendment right to directly elect your senators? Yet again, that seems to me to be the opposite of patriotic, because I think somebody who is American would believe in the idea of one man, one vote. Joe, if you want to keep defending these guys, please be my guest. And you're actually sharpening the skills of the Democrats when you do this, because the Democrats might learn from you being such a fool and trying to defend the Koch brothers that, hey, if we just stick to the truth, stick to the facts, and double down when we're right, oh my God, that might help us. Yes, Democrats, you're finally figuring it out. You have to have these things etched in your brains, all those facts about the Koch brothers, how they made their money, all the terrible things that they're doing. Here's another example, which I didn't mention then, but the Koch brothers are funding this massive movement to try to get creationism in our schools. So, and that directly violates the Constitution. Never mind trying to repeal the 17th Amendment, which again literally is against the Constitution, but that's against the Establishment Clause to try to put creationism, which is religious, in our science classes. That's a direct refutation of the Establishment Clause of the First Amendment, which says that the government shouldn't promote religion over non-religion or one religion over another religion. Promoting Christianity and promoting creationism in science class and in schools, that's the Founding Fathers would be turning over in their graves. So go ahead, Joe Scarborough, keep defending them. Democrats, keep responding the right way and keep fighting back. And if you might learn a few lessons this way, and if you had only done this earlier, it would probably be a guaranteed victory for you guys in the midterm elections. But like always with the Democrats, it's too little too late, so who knows if it'll catch on at this point.